Okay, so this is the iPhone 14 Pro, and the big question is, can you take pro level photos and videos with this thing? And the answer is obviously yes. I've sold photos and videos taken with iPhones back in the day, so obviously you can shoot amazing things with this device. But I was kind of curious, what if you go head to head using the 48 megapixel ProRAW camera and compare the photos from this thing with something like the Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro that can shoot 108 megapixel photos. And let's throw in a third camera into the mix, the camera that I'm shooting with now, the Sony A7C, which is a full frame camera. And let's just see which camera takes the better photos. Let's do this. Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tom. I like to make videos about cameras and lenses and stuff like that. So if you're into that, consider hitting the like button, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell. Okay, so I went out on a very nice and sunny day. I mean, summer is basically almost over. It's September after all. But I went to the beach and I took some photos and I used the iPhone 14 Pro, I used the Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro, and I used the Sony full frame camera that I'm shooting this video with. And I wanted to see, which one takes the better photo. Now, I wanted to do this like a blind test in order to see if, because you have a certain bias. If you see a photo, you can sort of tell it, oh yeah, there's the iPhone colors. Oh yeah, those are the Sony colors. And so I wanted to do a blind test, but because I work alone on this channel, I couldn't really do that. So the blind test, unfortunately, is gonna be for you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you 9 sets of photos, and we're gonna call it like number 1, 2, and 3. And you're gonna guess which one you think is the iPhone 14 Pro, or which one you think takes the better picture. That's probably even a better guess. And it's always gonna be like, it's not scrambled, so it's always gonna be number 1, 2, and 3. So get a piece of paper and write down what you think takes the better photos, and let's get into it. All right, so this first photo, I gotta be honest, I'm not gonna go into analysis. I'm just gonna tell you which one I think looks the best. I think that the number 2 looks the best, has the best details. And there's really nothing wrong with the other 2 photos. They really look good. There's lots and lots of details and I really like that. But if I had to pick a favorite, I would go with number 2. Next up, we have a bit of a beach shot here. And I would say that the picture I like the most is number 3 this time, because I just think it doesn't clip the highlights as much as the other 2 photos. But I do think that the other 2 take excellent photos. I just really prefer the third one. All right, number 3. Here we have a little bit of a park bench. And here I have to say I really like the first picture. Number 1 is definitely the nicer looking image, but the other one are pretty good also. And here we have a bit of a selfie shot. Now again, I remind you that I always use the best camera. So on the iPhone 14 Pro, I did use the 48 megapixel camera. So one of these is shot with the 48 megapixel camera, and it's not any kind of portrait mode thingy. The background blur is real blur. So in this shot, I would have to say that I like number 2 the best. Just think that the skin tones look the best. And moving on to the next one, another selfie shot. We got a little backlight here versus the sun. It's a good shot actually to sort of see the dynamic range of these cameras. And here I would probably go with number 3 on this one. I just think it captures the highlights and the details and the shadows and stuff like that, and it just speaks to me in a better way. I really like it. In this shot, I would say that I really prefer the first one. Number 1 is probably my favorite one. I just really like the colors and the details. I do like the other 2. There's absolutely nothing wrong with those, except number 2 is perhaps a bit dark and it sort of crushes the blacks. If you want to talk about, most details in the dark area, I would say that it's number 3 probably. But yeah, I would still say that my favorite picture here is number 1. And in this shot, I definitely would pick the second shot. I gotta say, I do like the colors in number 1 here, but the second shot just pops more, and the image really just speaks to me, and I just really like number 2 for some reason. And here we have another selfie picture, and I gotta say, I really like number 1 the most, despite the fact that the colors don't look that natural. I just think it pops more, but I really like it. If I was to bring a camera on the beach someday and I wanted to get the best camera for the job, I would take the camera that takes the first shot. But I would probably say that the most natural shot, the way it looked on the beach that day, it was probably, it's a tough call, but it's either number 2 or number 3. But again, I picked number 1 here. And this is the final shot. So here I gotta go with number 1 again. I just really like the colors and the details, but the other 2 are absolutely not bad. And to be completely honest, I really didn't think any picture looked bad on either camera. It was a sunny day, and so you got all of the details, all the colors, everything just popped and looked really crispy and nice. But if I had to pick something, I think I lean more towards number 1 because of the popping colors. So, have you written down all your answers? You can go back in the video if you're not done yet. 9 pictures. Which picture did you like the most? Number 1, 2, or 3? Okay, so here's the reveal. The first camera was actually shot with the Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro, and the second photo was shot with the Sony full frame A7C, which is a great camera, by the way. And the third shot was taken with the iPhone 14 Pro, 48 megapixels in Pro RAW. So there you have it. Those are the results. It will be really curious for me to know which one you think looked the best. A couple of things that I wanted to mention here. I think that the Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro, it had the most pleasing colors, but they weren't the most realistic colors. And I think Sony was a bit too contrasty for my taste. It still looked very professional and cool, so I like it for that reason. And I would sort of say that the iPhone took the most flat images and most natural looking images overall. But when it comes to sharpness and details, if you zoom in, and I wanted to show you this one example, if we go back to this shot right here, the pole in the middle, if we zoom in on this thing with the exact magnification, you will definitely see that the Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro with the 108 megapixels really do have the most details. And the worst one is the Sony A7C, but it's only 24 megapixels, so it does make sense. And the iPhone was in the middle because it has 48 megapixels. So the megapixels actually do matter, you know, they do make a difference. But of course, you don't have to pinch zoom on every photo that you look in order to say if it's looking good or not. If you have it in 100% and it looks good, then it looks good regardless of how many megapixels it was shot in. But if you want more to work with, then yeah, high megapixel count, it does actually count for something. Go figure. Okay, those were my thoughts. Just a fun little comparison. Hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe.